There is another poem by Robert Frost, that is Fire and Ice. Fire and ice both symbolize something. Fire desires and ice symbolizes hatred. Let's go through the poem. Some say the world will end in fire. Some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. The main theme of the poem is that the poet says that the whole world is going to die either with fire or ice. One group is of the opinion that someday the Earth's core will get so heated up that it would lead to fire, destroying the Earth's surface. On the other hand, the second group says that if the temperature goes down to an extent that makes life on Earth impossible, it would have the same catastrophic effect. The poet then compares fire and ice with the destructive features of human emotions, desire and hatred. He says that from what he is aware about fiery desires, he would favor the ones who say that it would be fire. By saying so, he brings about the idea that human beings let their emotions rule them, and the consequence of unmonitored longing is chaos. In the next stanza, he says, but if it had to perish twice, perish means destroy, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great and would suffice. Then by not waiving off the first option of fire, he considers if the world has to expire twice, ice would be equally competent in ending it. He brings about a contrast between ice and hatred. The human capability of insensitivity and hatred has a potential for inner destruction. Though slow and steady, it has the same effect that desire has on us. So, if given an option between fire and ice would be just as good as fire to destroy the world. Now talking about the literary devices used in the poem, first is assonance. It is a repetition of vowel sound, as you know. We can see the example, I hold with those who favor fire. O sound is repeated. So this is an example of assonance. Next is alliteration. The sound f is repeated in favor fire, and that is on the beginning of the word. Alliteration is a repetition of sound, consonant sound at the beginning of the word. Next literary devices used in the poem is imagery. Imagery is used to make readers perceive things involving their five senses. For example, some say the world will end in fire. To say that for destruction ice is also great. Next is anaphora. Anaphora is a repetition of a word or expression at the start of two or more consecutive lines. For example, some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. Means both the lines starts with the same expression, some say. Means the repetition of expression, word or phrase which occur in one or two consecutive lines, that is called anaphora. Next is personification. As you know, personification is to give human qualities to inanimate object. In this poem, fire and ice are capable of destruction. Thus, the poet personifies fire and ice. Both are inanimate objects. So, the poet personifies fire and ice by giving them mind and power to destroy anything. Next figure of speech is enjambment. Enjambment is defined as a thought or clause that does not come to an end at a line break. Rather, it moves over to the next line. For example, from what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. Means without any break, the ideas go through the next line. That is called enjambment. Now, coming towards the rhyme scheme of the poem, as you know, that this fire is rhyming with desire. Next is again A, fire, then B, eyes, it is rhyming with twice, then hate, eyes again, B, great, hate, and then suffice, B. So the rhyme scheme in the poem is A, B, A, B, C, B, C, B. Talking about the other details of the poem. This poem was written and published in 1920, shortly after World War I, and weighs up the probability of two differing apocalyptic scenarios represented by the elements of the poem's title. The speaker believes fire to be the more likely world ender of the two and links it directly with what he or she has tasted of desire. In an ironically conversational tone, the speaker adds that ice, which represents hate and indifference, would also be great as a way of bringing about the end of the world. There are two reported inspirations for the poem. The first of these is Dante's Inferno, which is a poetic and literary journey into hell written in the 14th century. The other is a reported conversation Frost had with an astronomer in which they talked about the sun exploding or extinguishing fire or ice.